Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Quasar, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Jason.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Jason. We have a special guest joining us today. Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah,
that you're willing to share on the pod.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I am a kind of, I feel like at least in our community, a relatively new to the competitive scene player. I started about a little over a year ago playing in the Pittsburgh scene with folks like Bryce and Josh, who have been some of your guest host previously, and I've been having a great time playing the game pretty much every week since I started, and it's been a great pleasure to engage with all of you, and I'm really happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you, and I'm glad to hear that you are having fun with the game. I'm always happy to hear people are playing it. It is such a fun game, and more people should be playing it. All right. Before we do anything, let's talk about some news that came out of AMG. So first things first, they released some... another thing, before even that, I would like to apologize to our listeners that we missed last week, but last week was... I think legally I have to call it the big game. Is that the
Yes,
case?
yeah, you cannot say the name of the superb owl.
Oh yeah, there was a great owl, a superb one, you could say, and we were it took place during the time that we usually record, and we couldn't reschedule because there was too many things floating around, so we missed an episode. Sorry, everyone. We try not to, but we are not perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
famously a huge overlap between comic books and football fans. So that's
It is the only football game I watch each year.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I can say the same. It is the only game that I watched this
Yeah.
year. I think I caught a little bit of another game at when I was visiting She Who Tolerates Living with Me's parents' house. Okay, all right. Let's get started with some news from AMG. So AMG recently released the cards, the tactics cards that come in the set that contains Ironmonger, Rescue, and Iron Lad, and also Kang, but we've not done an episode on Kang. So we should talk about these tactics cards. So starting off, there is a new tactics card for Ironmonger. It is called Guns Blazing. It is an attack tactics card. It is unaffiliated. It is an active card that costs an action. During Ironmonger's activation, he may spend 4 power to play the card, and then he can make the attack listed on the card. The attack is called Shock and Awe. It is range 4. It is 10 dice, and before choosing a target, this character chooses whether the attack type is physical or energy. And it also has Wild, High Explosive. Before damage is dealt, other enemy characters within range 2 of the defender suffer 2 damage. Okay, what does everyone think about this? I mean, it is an attack card, so it's automatically multiple steps down, because those tend to be very bad. But this attack seems pretty good. Range 4, 10 dice, for 4 dice, or for 4 power, that's pretty good. And then Wild, High Explosive.
And it seems very on theme with Ironmonger, being the Tony Stark Ripper offer that he is. This seems like kind of a less exciting version of a Helios, and another big attack coming from an armored character into one model.
Yeah. It is the big problem is that it's taking up one of the slots that you have for tactics cards. That's the only problem I have with this, because it is a good attack. The question is whether it's worth that slot. I don't think it is. I personally think that this attack is not worth the tactics card slot, even though it's good. What do you think, Brad? What are your thoughts?
I think in this case you are completely wrong. So
Oh, okay.
the comparison to Helios Laser is good because to get 10 dice on Helios Laser, how much power would that cost?
8?
Uh, 8,
8
right?
power?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this costs half that.
I mean, you're right.
It is
And it has.
now he has to pay for it himself, but I think that this attack is absolutely worth it. You can't get the like 20 dice that sometimes a Helios Laser uses, but I think that's done too often anyway.
Yeah, and I think the thing that also kind of helps us out a little bit is the one of the first line on the shock and awe attack portion
Yes.
is before choosing a target, this character chooses whether this attack's type is physical or energy. So you
That's a
have the
big
option
Oh,
to
yeah.
switch between either based on your target, which will really help.
Yeah. I think that this is one of those rare attack cards that may be worth it.
Okay, fair. Steven, what do you think about it? Have we lost Steven? Is Steven still there? Okay.
I'm muted. I'm muted.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
guys.
There he is. There he is.
I was coughing, and I didn't want to do that to the listeners. So,
Oh, I appreciate it.
I think for what it is, it's good, but I think it won't get played because the tactics cards are so tight nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. So he's a criminal syndicate character. Do you think that he might be more likely to play it in criminal syndicate?
Yeah.
No, I think he'll more likely play in Cabal because Cabal has Dark Rain.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, and then you get to re-roll all these dice. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's more likely in Cabal.
Interesting. All right. Well, that is the first tactics card. That is Guns Blazing. Let's talk a bit about the next one for Ironmonger. It is called Corporate Espionage. It is an unaffiliated reactive tactics card. When an allied character dazes or KOs an enemy character, after the effect is resolved, that allied character may spend 2 power to play this card. An allied Ironmonger gains the Stolen Stark Tech reactive superpower. Stolen Stark Tech, it costs 2 power. When this character is defending, after the attack is resolved, this character may use this superpower. If the attacker is range 3 or less, push it away from this character short. This superpower can be used only once per turn. Okay. So this turns Ironmonger into Blob, not Toad, into where he can push you away if you attack him, if you're within range 3. And he just gains it for the rest of the game, I think, reading this card. This is...
It doesn't look like there's even a range restriction. So it looks like anywhere on the board, when an allied character dazes or KOs an enemy character, that character can spend 2. I mean, doesn't matter where Ironmonger is at that point, right?
Right. I think you're right. So I think that's cool. Now, that being said, this costs 2 power to do. It is a nifty little effect to be able to push someone away. You might push them out of range for their next attack. You might push them off of a point that they want to be holding. This is nifty technology to have at your fingers. Is it? I'm ringing this bell pretty often. We just talked about another tactics card that Brad forwarded would be worth taking. Do you take both? Is this one good? I do think this one is good. I think this one is very good. But what do you think, Brad?
I think this one's fine. You take it if as a tech piece. Like, you want this effect, take the card. And I think not every list he's going to be in is going to care about this card. Where I think the other one's more broadly applicable.
Right. Okay. Um, Jason, what do you think about this card?
I feel like it's a hard pick. If you have to wait until a daze or KO, that means you're not really getting this turned on, until round 2, maybe, unless you're getting really lucky with your dice rolls. So I know that, your tactics cards you're playing throughout the duration of the game, but it feels like with the power that you need to activate it and the power that you need to kind of continuously use it, its effects aren't really going to come out that often, and it'll be a late game card at most in a meta where we're not seeing a lot of late games. So I'm curious maybe how this changes if we get new crisis cards in the future, but I don't know that I would take this.
That is fair. That is absolutely fair. Steven, what do you think about it?
I think it's a good effect. Can't really complain about it. It's very much a control piece, which is a large part of this game, getting people off of points. So it might be another layer of protection. But to Jason's comment, the game is quick right at the moment. So until things slow down a little bit, I think this might be in the 10, but not the 5. So that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. It is a late game effect, as Jason said. You very unlikely to have it available to you until round 2 or later, and even then, if the person who dazes the model or KOs the model doesn't have 2 power to spend, that's a missed opportunity to get this. Like maybe they used their spender, used all their power, and suddenly they can't even do the thing that activates this card. So I don't know. It just has a lot of, maybe if the power itself cost 1 instead of 2, but it costs 2, and that's pretty expensive. Okay.
Well,
all right. Yeah. Go ahead.
I would interject that a lot of people use the Arnim Zola card on Baron Strucker and Hydra, and that costs 2 power. But that's a very good effect to give you an attack. So I like cards like this that can last throughout the game. Of course, that one can be a little bit quicker, but all game effects are usually better than one game effects, in my opinion. So
yeah. Okay. Let's move on. We're gonna skip over the Kang cards. We will cover them when we do that model, but we've already done Iron Lad, Rescue, and Ironmonger, so we'll go over those. The next one is Data Backup. It is an unaffiliated reactive tactics card. When an allied Vision would be KO'd, Iron Lad may spend 5 power to play this card. Vision is not KO'd. Instead, he removes all damage and special conditions from himself and drops all objective tokens he is holding. It's a Vision save. It's so specific. Here's my issue with this card. Iron Lad has to have 5 power on it, and it only happens when Vision would be KO'd. Vision is a good model. He probably has been KO'd before in games. Often you don't even know if your opponent is going to try to KO Vision when you're picking tactics cards. Like I really think this is so specific. It is hard to see play. What do you guys think? What do you think about this, Brad?
This card makes Vision very good, but I think you're right. It's not. The situation doesn't come up often enough. So unless Vision's your pet character, I don't think you're going to be playing this.
Yeah.
This is like the Ghost Rider card, right? The Ghost Rider card that turns them on.
Secret Ghost Rider tech, right?
Yeah.
But the difference is that the Ghost Rider, he can choose anybody. It's when he is KO'd, and he can choose anybody, and they become KO'd, and he comes back fully healthy and unactivated. This
if
one.
they're on their healthy side, Fred. If they're on their healthy
Oh
side.
yeah, if they are on their healthy side, that's correct. This one, Vision doesn't come back healthy. He comes back on his wounded side, and I guess like he doesn't lose, and it's Ironmonger who has to pay for it. And the both sides of this card are locked in. It's Vision, Ironmonger. It's not like
Iron
Ghost
Lad.
Rider's card where it's Iron Lad. Sorry, it's not like Ghost Rider's card where it's Ghost Rider and anybody. So it's just trickier to fire this off.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of experience playing as Vision, but does this allow you to play Vision more aggressively than you might play him today?
Maybe I don't. I don't have a lot of experience playing against Vision either. The times that I have, I remember he was kicking my butt, but that was because Borka was playing him, and Borka tends to do very well. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Vision is.
Here's the story behind this card. AMG thinks Vision should be played more, and they're right. So they made a card to encourage people to play Vision more.
I mean, I get it. I don't disagree. And also, I think this is a perfect case of a play at home at your in a friendly game.
Or Fred, you start with Vision, Iron Lad, Ghost Rider as your list. Okay.
Death never dies.
Especially on a D. Vision can camp your home D. He probably is healthy when Ghost Rider finally dies. You make a deal with the devil,
crap.
and then you keep Vision alive.
Holy crap! You've broken the game. Oh, you've done it. You've done it, Brad.
New play
Wow,
patterns
okay.
from that for sure.
And don't forget to bring Hella along, just to get those tokens and Mummy.
Sure.
Also.
At this point, you probably can't even play leadership, but that's fine.
You're unaffiliated.
You can play Mephisto.
Maybe that's a lot of
10
points.
Plus 4 is 14. Plus 4 is 18. Everything we just said doesn't fit onto the table.
The Resurrection Squad.
It's fun though. I do like that as an idea. Okay, all right. That is that card. Oh, did everyone talk about it? Did I ask Steven? Steven, what did you think about this card?
Not worth it. No.
Yeah. Jason, same.
Yeah, I'm just more interested in what comes out of it if we see anything new get experimented with the card. Yeah,
start seeing Vision around more often. All right, the next one is a tactics card called Danger Management. It is a shield specific tactics card. It is reactive. During the power phase, Tony Stark or Pepper Potts may spend 3 power to play this card. Each allied Tony Stark and each allied Pepper Potts gain the following superpower until the end of the round. The superpower is called Dynamic Response. It costs 2 power. When another allied character is attacked, after that attack is resolved, this character may use this superpower. If that allied character is within range 3, this character may make an attack with a power cost of 0 against the attacker. This superpower can be used only once per turn. I mean, I think this is better. Oh, I don't know, actually. This is shield specific, and I know that a lot of Iron Man, a lot of Tony Starks can push the target. So you can push, if someone attacks, you can push them out of range after the attack's resolved. This only lasts for 1 round, however, unlike the Ironmonger card from earlier. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about this, Brad?
So, Shield players used to play, what's his name, Winter Soldier, because of his attack back and his rapid fire. and they've kind of gotten away with that. But I could see them playing this card to push, as you said, and also to heal with Rescue,
Oh,
because
because
Rescue
rescue can
gets it
heal.
too. Yeah, she gets to
Yeah, you're
heal
right.
with her attack. It is only once a turn, and they have crazy tactics cards in Shield. But
Yeah.
I could almost see at least them, the like real serious players, at least trying it out, if nothing else.
Here's another thing: is they could both spend it,
Yeah,
right? They
yeah,
both get it, and
uh
that
huh,
means that they can both make an attack. So you slap back twice if they attack anybody.
yeah,
It's actually pretty solid.
yeah.
What do you think about this, Jason?
Oh boy, yeah. So I don't have a lot of experience with Shield, so I feel like my feedback is limited here. But I'm having a hard time getting past the wording of each allied Tony Stark and each allied Pepper Potts. Have we seen language like that on tactics cards before?
Yeah. So why I think it's like that is you could ostensibly have a Hulkbuster get get KO'd in the middle of this round and then spit out a baby Tony. And then in theory, I think the baby Tony would also have this. Right? Do you
Yeah,
guys
That's
agree?
a really good question, Fred.
I think that's why it's phrased this way.
I don't know. I think it feeds into my conspiracy theory that with Kang we're going to see some interesting rules introduced where you can have multiples of the same character.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, we've always thought it was going to come in the Spider-Verse, that we'd have multiple versions of the same character. But it'll be with the time travel verse of Kang. What do you think about this card, Steven? What are your thoughts?
Um, no, it's a good effect. I, it's like cover me a little bit, which is a good card.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you have people who are attacking who put out effects while they're shooting at people. So, or
Yeah,
hitting people. I can't complain about that.
right. Yeah, I think this is a good card. I think it's really good, actually. We'll see if this sees a lot of meta play in Shield specifically. Okay, and the next card, I think this is the last card we're going to talk about, is called the Best Defense. It is an unaffiliated active action costing card. During Rescue's activation, she may spend 2 power to play this card. Rescue makes the Pulse and Repulse attack shown above. So it is called Pulse and Repulse. It is energy. It is range 5, and it is 5 dice at 0 cost. Before damage is dealt, push the defender away short. No size restriction. Rapid fire. After this attack is resolved, this character may make 1 additional pulse and repulse attack. The additional attack must target the original target character. The additional attack does not have the rapid fire special rule. Okay, so this is just an easy automatic push. That is what this is. And it's an automatic double push. And it is not size restricted. So if you are having trouble with Magneto or with an Immortal Hulk, you can double push them away. Push the defender away short. It is not size restricted, and it automatically happens. I think it's excellent. I think the Rescue is so good already, and I think this is a very good attack. I think it's really good. What do you guys think? What do you think about this, Brad? I am up on this attack card.
This has been so funny all night, Fred. I don't think people are gonna
You
play
disagree?
this. I don't think people are gonna
What are
play
you
it.
talking about? What are you talking about? This is so good.
I don't think people are gonna play
Okay.
this.
All right, that's fair.
Tell me
What do
more,
you
Brad.
think?
I'm just super interested in why you think that is. Is it just the attack card conundrum taking up too much space?
Yeah, it is a good effect. I don't think this is good enough. The
I
difference
think this is
between
better
this,
than 10 dice.
I no.
Like,
10 dice can
yes,
permanently deal with something. This can only temporarily deal with something.
but 10 dice is not going to permanently deal with Hulk. And this could push Hulk so that he has to double move or jump move and get
And then
one punch in an
yeah, and
activation.
still daze your model. KO your
Do
model.
one punch. I'll tell you what, Hulk is like Immortal Hulk is a problem. If you don't have an answer to Immortal Hulk, then he's going to just beat the tar out of your team. If you can double push Immortal Hulk out of the fight, he has to spend his turn jumping and moving. That is the next round completely sewn up. Like, I'm sorry. I think this is an excellent effect if you're up against Immortal Hulk.
I think that
I
I think that there's benefit and utility to having a push, potentially in rosters that maybe struggle with displacement. I think that maybe they acknowledge that rescue is going to be a splash pretty much everywhere for so many people that maybe this adds a little bit more utility to her kit when she comes into something like, I don't know, defenders who kind of struggle with having that guaranteed push. This game really benefits, or you really need that push right now, that displacement as a part of your gameplay. Otherwise, you're kind of up the river with no paddle.
Yeah, I think that Rescue is already such an amazing tech piece. Like, she brings so much to the table already. And now if you bring a tactics card as well, she is an auto pusher for 2 times, like a double auto pusher. That is so good. That is so good. I guess in theory, you could push her out of range of your rapid fire shot. Like, if you are like push them further than 5 away from you, you wouldn't get the double push. I still think this is excellent. Steven, what do you think about this?
I agree with Brad. It's in a game where you have so many people, so many characters that have innate displacement. I think this just gets lost in the shuffle.
Okay, all right. Jason, did you have a chance to talk on this? I think you did, but I don't think I called you out specifically.
I did, and in the honor of me making terrible dad jokes, I think, Fred, you and I, this raises our pulse, but it makes Steven and Brad repulsed. So I'll just leave that there.
Nice.
Oh, thumbs up.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, this definitely raises my pulse. This is my favorite card, I think, that we've talked about. And that's because I'm bad at this game. But I also think this card is good. I think it's really good.
Maybe that's the theme we're noticing here. I'm with you, Fred.
Alrighty. Those are the tactics cards that have come out since our last episode that we are going to talk about. There was another piece of news. AMG put out a post about a terrain pack that looks really cool. It's got a lot of fire. It's neat looking. And then they removed the post. Terrain. It's Dormammu terrain. Wasn't there already Dormammu terrain? Like with all those balls?
That came with Dormammu.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this one... I think, Fred, what you're talking about is they did in I think it was a mini extravaganza, announce some Dark Dimension terrain pieces, but this one was called Dimensional Upheaval. And instead of being kind of orby and kind of weird looking, this is like very fiery and fire based. Had some interesting components to it, but yeah, they took it down, I think, even after maybe just a day. It was up there for longer than I'd expected for something they ended up taking down.
Yeah, I do we know anything why they took it down, or is that just like they weren't ready to announce it yet and they just made a mistake?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to my conspiracy theory. Right, this was called dimensional upheaval. What is being upheaved? What's changing? Maybe that's a part of it. But no, I think there's no official answer.
Okay. Yep. And it's a shame because they looked pretty cool. I like this terrain piece. Okay. Those are the news pieces. The news pieces. Those are the news stories that we've had about this game since we last did an episode. Let's talk real quick about upcoming events. Coming up later in February on the 21st, there is a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics. This is an Appalachian Cup qualifier, and this is our local game store. So everyone, come on down. I think, are we up to like 18 people? Something like that, Brad?
We are up to 18.
Yeah. I updated my my list on the event because I had to remove. Oh, hey, there's another piece of news that came out. They've got rid of Great Refuge. That's a piece of news. I don't think we've talked about that. The card Great Refuge has been rotated out, and that harms me a lot. I played that card all the time, so I am unfortunately unable to play Great Refuge, the Inhumans card Great Refuge.
Good.
Yeah, it was a great card. It really was, and I will miss it. I think that the reason why is there were ways to play it in a degenerate fashion where you could attack someone's back line with Black Bolt on round 1, and they didn't want that to be possible, which I guess I understand, but I wasn't using it to do that. I was using it just to rearrange people in round 3 or 4 in a way that was really handy. I missed this card. Oh well. Okay. All right. Back to what I was saying earlier. Lost Legion tournament on the 21st of February. Come there, everyone, please. All right. On the 28th of February, there is a tournament at Fabricators Forge in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is going to be a team tournament, and I myself and Brad will be going. Jason, will you be there?
I don't think I will. It actually corresponds with some plans I had before, but I know that it looks like a lot of teams are signed up, and Bryce always runs a wonderful event, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out of it.
Okay, boo. Sad to hear. Okay, well, we are coming up to play, and I think there are 7 sets of teams, teams of 3, and pseudo Highlander, where you can't take any of the same models, but you can take the same crisis cards and tactics cards. So 7 teams means that there's going to be a bye round for every. There's going to be a bye, and that is unfortunate.
So if you've got a team out there, sign up. Make it even.
Yeah, we need 3 people. 3 people, show up, please. Okay. Well, moving on March the 14th is the Spring Akron Brew Brawl at Missing Falls Brewery in Akron, Ohio. This is another Appalachian Cup qualifier, and it's a great event. Everyone should attend. It's a lot of fun. It's genuinely an excellent event to play. You get food. They cater food for you, and I think it is. Was it $60 or was it $50?
I think it was 60.
I don't remember. I think it's $60.
Yeah.
It is a bit expensive, but you get food, and it's good food. You also get a drink, either an alcoholic drink token or an all-day fountain drink token. So I think everyone should attend. This is an excellent event. I have enjoyed every one that I've attended, but I have not done well in these events in the past. So
Fred,
oh well.
Yep.
Fred, what did you get last spring?
Last spring, I think that was when I got second place to you.
Yeah. Okay. So you did so bad. You did terrible.
I did terrible. Mm-hmm. What did I get last fall, Brad?
We don't talk about the fall events. We pretend those don't exist.
Fair. Okay.
I think this
Uh,
this was actually my the one in March last year. This was actually, I think, my first kind of big tournament that I attended. I was able to travel out with a lot of the Pittsburgh guys, and it was a wonderful time. I definitely second your recommendation. I will be there this March. I'm really excited to go back and play some games, eat some good food, and drink a beer. It's a great time.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. And yeah, look forward to seeing you there. Okay, that's it for events coming up. Uh, let's start talking about games we've played recently. All right. So I have played a couple games. I've played, I think, 3 games since we've last recorded an episode. I remember one game pretty well, and I remember the other 2 games, the ones from 2 weeks ago, a lot less well. But uh, I guess I'll go real quick. My game this week was against a very new player, and so I toned it down a little bit. I didn't want to go too hard, and we had a very fun game. He was playing Magneto Brotherhood, and he brought original Sabretooth, Mystique, uh, not Killmonger, or who's I'm completely blanking on the
He had
name of the.
Sabretooth. Is that who you're thinking of?
No, I've already said
Oh,
Sabretooth.
I wasn't
The
listening
Merciless
for you.
Merc. Who's Merciless Merc?
Oh, Crossbones.
Crossbones.
Uh,
He also had
Crossbones.
he
Oh
also
my
had
god.
Mysterio.
Yeah, he had Mysterio as well. Crossbones, Merciless Merc. I could not think of his name. I'm sorry. Uh, all right. I was playing Inhumans, and I was playing Maximus the Mad. I played the dog. I played Gorgon and Karnak, and I played Crystal. This was my first time ever putting Crystal on the field. And let me tell you, I think Crystal is underplayed. She was good. She was good in this game because I think that everyone's trying to use her as a turret where she sits and makes 3 attacks. And I think that's incorrect. I think you move her and make 2 attacks. Like you line up the attacks you want to make, and then you do a beam that hits 3 people, and then you buy another attack and do a third attack into somebody. I think she's a lot of fun. Uh, but yeah, that was my take. I end up winning this game. I was trying not to win, and at a certain point, that was just not going to be possible because I was also picking up objectives when they were available to me. And I also flipped every single one of the Macron crystals. I remember there was a turn where I flipped every one, and he did not have anyone on any of the crystals. And I thought to myself, oops, I'm going to not be able to lose this now. But he had a really fun time, and that's what's important. And at one point, uh, Karnak was able to do his spender into Mystique to do 1 damage, and I rolled 10 dice to do 1 damage. It was a lot of fun to do. That was my game. Brad, why don't you talk about some games that you've played recently?
Okay. I don't remember playing 2 weeks ago at all. I know I did. I played
I can tell
Defenders.
you one of your opponents.
It
One
was
of your
you.
opponents was me. We were playing. Here's an interesting thing. Here's something that we should talk about that we didn't because we didn't record
Oh, we
last
didn't
week.
record last week. That's right.
And Brad created a crisis
Two.
that fits with the. He created 2 crises, a red and a blue, that fit in the world of Spider-Verse, and I think he did a great job, like an excellent job.
All right.
So
For our
why don't you
league,
say what the?
yeah. For our league, I did. I gave out cards for doing a special thing. This week was to play with the custom crises. So the secure is a line down the middle of the bat. Um, I don't even know how to describe that. From deployment to deployment, let's say that. That you are not allowed to cross or target models over, or even choose a model over. And the card suggests that you put different terrain on each half of the line because they're different universes. And then there's a B setup, and you can interact with the B, with the secure, sorry, and roll a die, and that tells you which of the other side Bs you place on. So you're teleporting to a different universe across the line each time. It was cool. And then the extract, I think, is cooler because it could be real. I don't know what the letter is, but it's got 4 places. It's the same as Inhuman Weapons, and they're like the prisoner one, where the extract stays there and you grab something out of it. And the thing you're grabbing out of it are bootleg web shooters, which are a 4-die physical attack, range 4, no power gain, wild push, size 2 or smaller, and you were allowed to explode crits, but not add dice or modify dice from anything else, to keep it fair. So I know I used it to push some models and help. All I remember from my game 2 weeks ago when we did this is I freaking love Electra. She's the best.
Yeah, in our game, Electra was an absolute house. She took out everyone on her side. I think she killed that entire universe's worth of my guys.
Maybe. She's so much fun to play. I love her so much. And that is not something I thought would ever happen, but I do love her. And then this week I played, we have a qualifier coming up, so I haven't played my Apocalypse list in a long time, so I got out Apocalypse. Memphis had just been through the Ringer playing CJ, and he's like, I don't care that you're playing Apocalypse, I just need to play something else. That went so bad for me. And he was playing Adam Warlock and Guardians, and he was doing, I don't remember, he played Phyla in my game, but not Moon. No, he played Moon Dragon too. Apocalypse one-shotted Adam Warlock on turn 1, and then
Oh my god!
it took
God!
2 attacks to kill him on turn 2. But he had an opportunity to activate Adam Warlock, and kept activating other people. So eventually I said, I'm going to punish you for making a bad decision, and then I killed his Adam Warlock.
Man.
I was pretty in control of this game. He dazed Iceman on turn 1, which filled me with Apocalypse tokens, and then I had no less than 3 the rest of the game. Like, every time I would get some, he would do something mostly to give me more, because Beast Pestilence just got picked on by Phyla and never actually got to make attacks. Beast never made an attack. Wolverine never made an attack. I crushed this game anyway.
Oh, man.
Gambit never made an attack. Gambit moved up the first turn, grabbed an extract, was sitting on a intrusion, and just sat there all game.
That happens sometimes.
It was Apocalypse and Iceman. They're the only 2 that attacked, and they just tore through his team.
So, for some context for everybody, Memphis has a habit of dicing everybody. Like, Memphis's dice luck seemed to be very good. I think that was beginner's dice luck, and he has now been playing the game long enough that he's starting to get some very bad dice games, and I think he had one against CJ, and it sounds very much like he had one against Brad.
This is giving me a lot of trauma from the first and only time I've ever played Brad. It was at a local Fabricators Forge tournament when I was about 6 months into the game and still learning. And I just remember you absolutely rolling me with Apocalypse. And that gave me a lot of fear for Apocalypse for the future that I still carry with me to this day.
As you should.
I don't know if
He
you
is
remember
very
that, Brad.
scary.
Yeah.
He is very scary. I've done that to
Apocalypse is
lots of
very good.
people. He's great. I love him. He's my man.
Well,
Survival
Jason.
of the fittest.
I gotta say, I hate that you're playing Apocalypse again. Well, Jason, what do you have any games that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I actually had 2 games that I played. One in a very similar context to Brad's, in the sense that I played someone who was trying to test out the new models, Adam Warlock and Moondragon. That game was actually a game with friend of the show, and I might add, avid Cerebro user Savage. I decided that I wanted to give a Foes Criminals roster a try. And he was getting in some reps with the new Adam Warlock and Moondragon. I actually have historically been trying to really focus on defenders, and over the past several months, my faction of choice has been defenders. But since that rules change that came back and introduced the 5 crisis, extra priority role stuff, I have just struggled immensely with trying to put a good defenders team on the table. So I've been kind of on a soul-searching journey after absolutely getting crushed as defenders over the past several months, trying to find the next factions to play. And again, Savage was kind enough to let me give Foes and Criminals a try. So in that game, the bad news for Savage trying to try out Adam Warlock and Moondragon was that I had Kingpin in my roster, and the 2 crises that we ended up flipping onto the table were Wedding Party and Legacy Virus. So it was pretty one-sided, in terms of who it was favoring. Again, he wanted to get these models on the table, and I knew that was coming, but I wanted to try out these criminals that I had. I'm like, all right, well, this is supposed to be the best outcome for Kingpin, so let's give it a shot, see what that looks like. So I fielded criminals, used Kingpin, Abomination, Rhino, along with a splash of Red Skull and Toad. And then Savage rolled in with Adam Warlock, Moondragon, Agent Venom, Rocket Raccoon, and Yondu.
Which Red Skull was it? Was it 5-point Red Skull?
Yeah, sorry, it was the one that everybody loves. Yeah, the 5.1 with the grunts that are an absolute terror. That was definitely something that I experienced during this game. Misplayed them terribly, but I still got to experience how wonderful they are. This was my first time, so I had not played any of the models in this roster, and I had not played against Red Skull, or what was the other character? I hadn't played against Red Skull, so it was just like very new to me trying to figure out all those things. So, but yeah, Savage is a great player. He's constantly in the top 3 of every tournament that I've attended in the year that I've been playing this game. He immediately acknowledged this was not the pick that he'd make in the scenario, but he wanted to give these models a try. So before we even began, he was pretty emphatic that he had already lost, but I knew better, honestly. Savage can squeeze blood from a stone when it comes to MCP, and I absolutely had never played any of these characters. And on top of that, I'm playing characters that I've never seen on the table. So I won't get too much into the game because it was a learning game for both of us, and ultimately we called it early because it was a slow game and we had to get on with the day. We ended up playing in the morning. But I'm pretty confident that if we ended up playing it out, we would have gotten to turn 5 or 6 and Savage would have pulled out the win. It was really interesting to play against Adam Warlock and Moondragon. I think Adam Warlock and his leadership is really compelling and opens up the opportunity for some really strategic play and how you kind of pull the dice into that leadership and pull it out. And there's a lot of ebbing and flowing and pulling defense dice versus pulling attack dice. There's a lot of really interesting things you can do with that. It was a great time. I think that after playing this Foes and Criminals, there's a good chance that I may be bringing this to Brew Brawl in the spring, but I still kind of have to figure out whether I want to do all that gluing and painting before we get there, because I've got a lot of unassembled models in that list that I need to get going.
I'll be frank, Kingpin, we will hate you. Kingpin's he is still very good. He is still very good, and he will put you in a very good place to do okay. He'll probably win some games using Kingpin, but everyone will hate your guts. That's the Kingpin curse.
Believe it or not, I was just thinking, Kingpin is also a character that I've never played on the board against.
Really?
I think it's just because, our meta doesn't have a lot of Kingpin in Pittsburgh, and ultimately maybe some of that hate comes across for people trying to not play Kingpin in some of the tournaments, or I've just been very lucky not to face him. But I've never played him on the table or against him on the table, so it was a pretty fresh thing to try out for me.
You are a lucky person, and the people in Pittsburgh are a very nice crew, so I'm not surprised that they have not subjected you to Kingpin torture.
Yep. And I'll try and return the favor and figure out what we do there. But it is meant to be a dual Foes Criminals roster. So ideally, Kingpin comes out in very perfect for Kingpin scenarios, and then the other ones are when you see the foes come out maybe a little bit more. There's a lot of synergy and overlap, and I think it's a pretty interesting group of models after having gone through this game.
Okay.
And then my second game actually ended up playing with a friend of mine, Dean. He's got a really great basement setup that I'm able to kind of go over and use every once in a while. We're both pretty close to local, so I usually every month or so try and head over to his house and play a game. And this game, I tried a different dual affiliated roster again, trying to figure out how I move on from defenders, both actually and emotionally. But I figured, here is maybe an opportunity to maybe make it not such a whiplash change. And I brought a defenders roster with Midnight Suns. He ended up pulling in with Winter Guard. This was my first time playing against Winter Guard too. I haven't seen them on the table at all, so it was, another new experience for me. I ended up using the Midnight Suns half the roster and brought Blade, Doctor Strange, Encantu, Man-Thing, and Black Cat. And he fielded Ursa, Rhino, Crimson Dynamo, Black Widow, and Omega Red. So a lot of DR on his side, a lot of damage reduction. That wouldn't be easy to play affiliate. The murder strategy into. So we ended up playing Lockdown and Ship Security Breached. This was a really interesting game because I had a strong start, but it's only because I got lucky. I started feeling a little bit of that dice swing in my favor for the first part of this game. So for this game, I was learning to use fallback because I saw Bryce be effective with it in our local meta in some of our games, and so I thought, hey, here's a great idea. Let's overextend with Encantu on turn 1 to grab the middle extract that is just slightly over the midline on his side. So I assumed, falsely, that I could take damage and the power generated from taking damage to use fallback to avoid being pulled in by Omega Red and, therefore kind of create a little bit more of a safe grab. But unfortunately, in my fervor and inability to read, I didn't realize that, no, you cannot use the power that is generated from that attack to use fallback. So I made the move, realized I couldn't do that, but thankfully Encantu was a beast. He ended up taking the 2 damage that he needed to take the fallback card, but unfortunately that gave Omega Red enough for his pull, and Encantu got sucked further down into enemy territory. I assumed he was gone. I'd given up on him, but Encantu ultimately had the last laugh. Dean ended up seeing red and spent so much time trying to take down Encantu that I was actually able to grab all 4 extracts on turn 1 and win up 6-2 on turn 1, which was crazy. Believe it or not, Encantu made it out of that round 1 with 1 hit point remaining. He didn't flip, and next turn he had priority and retreated over to my side of the board. It was insane luck. I will admit that I had a little bit of glee not being the victim of the bad dice rolls, which is a place I'm usually sitting. But it was an interesting game from that point forward. I think that initial turn one and the poor dice rolling from Dean was the only thing that kind of really kept me in that game. His roster was damage reduction focused, like I said, so I didn't really have anything that would be great at bursting down these durable models. In Cantu was so hungry for souls and rarely saw any. That was kind of a bummer, but again, he made his value. But ultimately, in the end, I squeaked out a 16-15 victory. I was able to hang on just long enough for points in turn 2 and 3 to give me what I needed with a win on turn 4. So, love the Midnight Suns. They're actually who I took to Brew Brawl for my first ever Brew Brawl tournament there. Really enjoy playing them. I think Bump is always fun to play into. It's one of the few leaderships I actually remember to use most of the time, which is something that I really have a problem with from time to time when I'm playing new rosters. But it was a great time.
Yeah, I mean, so what you just described in that game is, I think everyone has experienced the immortal Encanto. Like,
Yeah.
Encanto can be so wildly hard to kill sometimes. It's crazy. He's got such a great physical defense and damage reduction, and he can heal himself with soul. Can he heal himself? I think he can.
Yeah.
Now I'm yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And so, like, well done. Good job. Everyone hates Engatsu.
Yeah, maybe that's the trend I'm seeing here is starting to play characters everyone hates. Maybe that's the way
Yep.
to get ahead in
Play
in
good
tournament
stuff.
play.
Play good stuff. Yeah, and also Midnight Suns, an excellent swap over from Defenders. Like, there's so much crossover that pairing of a list is really, you can bring two lists in one, doing it that way.
Yeah. Brad, I'm curious. Have you been playing Defenders? I thought I heard, or you had mentioned that you've been
Yeah.
trying out a few things there.
I've played Defenders in that league we did, and I I was very picky on who I picked, so I didn't pick anyone who did magic, not even magic, who's a mutant, and I didn't even play Luke Cage. I played like martial artists, and it was mostly because I wanted to try out like Ronin. I played Tigra a little bit at the very end. I ended up really liking her. Elektra, Daredevil, Echo was really good. I played Moon Knight a little, but Moon Knight got cut. I don't know. Did I cut him or did I cut Punisher? One of those two got cut for Moondragon, but I haven't actually played Moondragon yet. So
I find with the Defenders, they're really good pieces at what they do, but they're not very good. They're not a very good all around faction. So you're really going hard in one direction, which leaves you open to being countered in the opposite direction a lot of times. So are you finding success with that roster? How's that coming along?
Yeah, actually, I won a lot of my league games and had a lot of fun. I will never take them to a tournament. I don't know. Listeners know this, but you may not. When X-Men came out, I made a vow that I would only play mutants in tournaments, and I have not broken it yet. I will always play mutants. But for fun, I'll play
I hear
whatever.
that. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm a listener too, so I
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
knew that coming. But I didn't know that until I started listening.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play mutants.
Well, Steven, I'm going to throw it
Yes.
over to you. We've been talking a lot over here. Have you played any games that you want to talk about?
Yes, I actually have three. Going back to yesterday, I played two, and going back the week before that, when I went home to Cleveland, I played one. The one I played at home was against a friend of the show, Cody Green. Everybody knows Cody
Yeah.
as an experimenter. And, well, he and I saddled up to the table, and I was running my Modoc Criminal Syndicate list. So, not Kingpin. So, Fred, you don't have to be mad. But I think Modoc is seriously sneaky good.
I
So
agree. Absolutely.
we were playing Mutant Madman, and Legacy Virus, and we were playing at 19 points, and I asked him what he was running, and he goes, "Well, I have Dracula, but I could splash in Cabal." Well, what I failed to do was look at his roster really, really closely, and he brought out Malekith and Dracula.
Ugh.
With Killmonger and Craven the Hunter.
I mean, this sounds like
And I
a
was like,
Cody
well,
list.
This
It does.
list is insane.
and I assumed that he was running the Dracula leadership, right? So my intent was to go hard into Malekith because I'm like, I don't need him going around just killing everything. So I countered with MODOK Scientist Supreme, the Wrecking Crew, Mephisto, and who else did I have? I had Bullseye and somebody else. I can't remember right offhand. Oh, I had Electro. That is correct. So we get into the scrap, and I have Wrecking Crew start off and go in, and on round 2 they had dazed Malekith.
Oh my
Don't ask
God.
me how, don't ask me why, but they just did stuff. Because round 1 I just kind of backed off, so on and so forth, and then Mephisto, he incinerated Malekith, and then Wrecking Crew went in with 3 attacks on him. So needless to say, the reprisal was that Wrecking Crew got dazed by Malekith. Bullseye single-handedly took care of Killmonger. Electro picked on Craven and Dracula, and MODOK just kind of sat back and was laughing at the whole thing. And then the telltale sign was I used 2 beams with Wrecking Crew that killed Malekith because I had lined up 2 pieces of the terrain on top of that. So it was a 6 dice mystic attack for the first one. And I hit Dracula twice and then used Stronger Together to throw him away medium out of the fight. So, like I said, Bullseye cleaned up Killmonger. Electro was doing his job. Craven didn't survive long, and then it was just Dracula left. I didn't think that I could do that much damage, but somehow I did. So, like I said, MODOK's kind of sneaky. His modifications, people look at them and they say they're not that much, but over the course of the game, and if you have people like Wrecking Crew have multiple attacks, they will get a lot of work done. So, but yeah, the game
Absolutely.
the game ended like 18-7. It was pretty epic. So,
Okay.
yesterday I tried a new list. I tried a defenders list. That defenders list, if I pull it up, so people will get a idea of what this is. It's Doctor Strange and Daredevil. I run Ancient One, Spider Woman, the Wrecking Crew, Iceman, Iron Fist, Magic, Moon Knight, and Wong. And everybody's like, well, why aren't you running Shang-Chi? Why aren't you running Namor? Well, first, I don't have them put together yet, and I don't have them painted. And I also have a purpose for some of these people. So Mary and I were playing yesterday, and she's doing her criminal syndicate list, and she's going to Adepticon. So she's trying to get practice. With that, excuse me, folks, I have to cough. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So with that, we did our first battle, and it was at 17 points. We were doing the scientific samples, and what was the other one? I'm sorry, I forget that one. But I was running Doctor Strange and Wong. I was running Ancient One, Magic, and Iron Fist. And she countered with Daredevil because we were on a pay to flip. I at least know that. It's the one where you just roll 3 dice. You don't have to have a physical or
Guardians.
Guardians. Thank you. And so she countered with Shadowlands Daredevil, and she was running Shadowlands with Hood, who did a lot of work this game. I'm trying to remember who else that she had. Oh, it wasn't the usual suspects. Oh, she was running Prowler and Black Cat and Spectacular Spider-Man because she likes running Cat and the Spider. So we get into it, and the attrition that Daredevil puts out is quite amazing. Needless to say, a lot of my folks went down very, very quickly because I didn't quite have an attrition list. So she ended up winning this game 16-9. It was pretty good drumming. So I think Strange was the wrong call on this. So kudos to her. I mean, she played well. She played accurately. Then we got into our second game, and this time when we revealed, we had the wedding party and the unexpected guests, and we were playing at 20 points. So at this time, I decided to run Daredevil in his leadership, and I also went with Ancient One and Iron Fist again. I went with Spider Woman, Wong, and who was my last one? I'm sorry, can't remember. But she countered with Kingpin. She still went with Shadowlands. She had Juggernaut, Taskmaster, and Rhino as her characters.
Juggernaut. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I had Iceman as my last character. So we got into it, and the game almost got away from me because by round 2, she was up 11-4.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, but needless to say, some things did come around. Ancient One took out Juggernaut, surprisingly. Well, she got him to his flip side. Then she did some more damage. I effectively used the Spider-Woman card, the one that lets you double activate, and that was huge. Her Shadowlands Daredevil did the big area mystic attack and failed to kill off Iron Fist, and then Iron Fist went off and did his Iron Fist thing to Taskmaster, thus activating him and closing that side down. Iceman was a total nuisance because she was trying to get into Iron Fist, and every time, Daredevil had a slow on him, so every time he attacked Iron Fist, Iceman was close enough that he was taking damage constantly. So, and like I said, Spider-Man was kind of a hero in this game. Daredevil did a little bit of work, and Ancient One was surprisingly good. And in this list, the reason I take Ancient One over Shang-Chi and Iron Fist over somebody like Echo or Man-Thing is because they generate 2 power in the turn. And I think this was really, really huge in the beginning of the game because, as we know, Wedding Party scores is those heroes that scores 2 points each if you control it. So I split those people up, and on either side, specifically for this scenario, or I guess for a Mayor Fisk also. You run, you see what your opponent's doing, and you save one of them for your last activation, and then you run them up and you turn off the secure with Mystic Ward to save you from losing points.
You just disable their secure, the one that they're going to get.
Correct. So it turned out to be a very, very good tactic. And Wong actually had enough power because he was holding something and he had been dazed that he played a cover me. And that was when Daredevil, Ancient One, and Spider-Woman, excuse me again, folks, were surrounding Kingpin. So Kingpin didn't attack into him. So it was a very good thing to thwart that. Needless to say, in the third round, I came back to 10 to 11, and then I ended up closing out the game at 18 to 11.
So she didn't get another point after that. You were just dominant at that point.
Correct, yeah. So it was a good game. I learned a lot about Daredevil. Those rerolls came in handy quite a bit. Mary was like, wait, you get rerolls on the Iron Fist? I said, yeah, for each one within 2. And she goes, even the ninjas? I'm like, yes, even the ninjas. Because they're a character. But I had a question for Brad, and this will probably help out our audience. I pulled off interrogation with Spider-Woman at one point in the game to try to keep me in the game.
Okay.
My question is this. If you get to a round and it is tied and Spider-Woman is next to a person and has 3 power, she has to be within 2, and she uses interrogation, do you win the game at 17-16?
You should.
I think yes.
Okay.
You would be tied at 16 and then before the interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because player effects happen after you score out your points.
Yeah, you should win.
Well, I'm just clarifying
actually
this
reading Spider-Woman's card. It's 100% that you would you would win because it says its controlling player increases the amount of VPs they score from crisis cards during the cleanup phase by 1. So it's not even a separate instance. You'll just go to 17 then.
Okay. Well, I was just making sure that, if that situation had come up with Spider-Woman, that that would be the case. So.
Yep.
Interrogation, real strong.
Good effect.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And she makes people drop stuff, and she moves along. I mean, she's a good character.
Spider-Woman's excellent. I love Spider-Woman. Okay. Well, let's cover the person that we are here to go over today.
Fred, there's one more thing before we get to that.
Okay.
Jason's on here for a reason.
Okay.
And that is to talk about the leagues he's running.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Jason, tell us about the leagues you're running.
Yeah, no, that's totally okay. I was thinking we'd either bring it up now or bring it up at the end of the show. So this is perfect.
Now's a great time.
Now's the great time. Yeah. So I'll start with a little background first. I've been looking for a way to give back to this Appalachian Cup community that we're a part of. And as I said, I've been starting to dip my toes into competitive MCP over the past few months, and this community really has been so great to play with. We've got so many incredible players who are not only great at this game in the competitive scene, but are just genuinely good people. So I had thought to start a seasonal tabletop simulator league, which is how MCP players across the country play Marvel Crisis Protocol virtually. I host these leagues every season and get as many folks from the community to play together as possible. So my goal was really to keep it friendly and competitive / non-competitive, which seems kind of like a weird thing to say, but I really wanted to set it up so that there were a total of 5 games that you could play over the course of 10 weeks. It would correspond to the season, so winter, spring, summer, fall. And each round would have 2 weeks to complete a game, and the participants could organize their game at whatever time works best for them. Just to touch really quickly on Tabletop Simulator, for those who may not be familiar, it's kind of a piece of software that emulates the experience of sitting down at the table with your friends. I've played role-playing games on this, board games, and when I found out that Marvel Crisis Protocol had a kind of unofficial tabletop simulator package that you could use as part of that, I was really intrigued. It's a really great system put on by a lot of people who are very committed to keeping it up to date and keeping it fresh with the new characters, the new tactics, changing rules when they come around, and it's a really easy way to play online. So for those who maybe have heard about it but are unsure, I would absolutely encourage you to pick up Tabletop Simulator. It can be had for the price of a tournament entry fee. It's usually $20, but you can often find it on sale for about $10. So with the plan in mind, I ended up approaching Bryce, who's the Grand Poobah. I can't remember his official title, so I will call him the Grand Poobah for now. Of the Appalachian Cup
title now.
It is, okay, good. Yep. We'll make sure to make that change and give him business cards. So I asked him if it would be okay if I set this up, and he gave me all clear. I quickly whipped up a long shakes event throughout the invitation, and we ended up getting a total of 10 folks to participate in this first Winter League, which started in January. So at the time this podcast will drop, I think we'll be in round 3 of 5 and wrapping up the inaugural Winter League in March. It's been a good way to get my feet wet as a pseudo TO. It's been fun kind of like making up different challenges, optional challenges for people to play with. Like this past round, because it's ending with Valentine's Day and the season of love is in the air, I made the optional rule that, hey, this round, if you can, squeeze in 2 characters that have been in a romantic relationship, either in the comics or in the movies or whatever you want to see, and people have had a lot of good fun with that.
That's great.
So,
I like that a lot. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, running things on Tabletop Simulator and playing virtual MCP had some fringe benefits that, I expected and didn't expect. Playing virtually means that you don't have to have the models built and table ready to be able to get them on the board, so you can try out all sorts of interesting combinations and different things that you maybe wouldn't have otherwise. And, in the Appalachian Cup region, we're from all over the place, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. So people in the community have been able to play more together, which has really kind of helped us get to know each other a little bit better. So when we go see ourselves, each other in person at these tournaments that we meet, about once a month at, you're starting to meet with friends, which is just really, really cool. So with all that in mind, I thought, today would be a great opportunity to get creative with the Spring League, and I'd love to share a little bit more about that plan today in the hopes we can get more people participating from inside the Appalachian Cup community and, extend it to anyone who wants to be a part of it. So we'll be starting the Spring Appalachian Cup TTS League on April 6th this year. This will kind of keep the same format that I previously mentioned, but I am going to add some new challenges to take advantage of that virtual format that Tabletop Simulator offers. So this league will be called Heroes and Villains Spring into Action. I couldn't hesitate putting a good dad joke in there, making it relation to the seasons again, but to give a brief summary and elevator pitch of this league that will start again on April 6th is that for each game, each participant will have prepared a hero and villain roster. The rosters, a hero list can only contain heroes and villains can only contain villains. These rosters won't have to be locked and they can be tweaked from round to round as you're playing. But where the difference comes into play here, and the thing that I hope will be a little fun for folks, is that the person who wins that first priority roll, rather than choosing their extracts or secures, they're going to choose which of their 2 rosters they want to play, the heroes or villains. And associated with those heroes and villains list, I will set forward a set of 5 predetermined crises that would be assigned to either the heroes or the villains based on that week. So, for example, one week heroes would have secures, and then maybe the next week they'll have the extracts. In addition, there will also be a fixed splash character for every round, one good guy associated with the heroes, one bad guy associated with the villains. And the reason for these 2 additions to the standard format is because you've chosen characters and crisis types that will relate to a story that we'll tell over the 5 rounds that we play during this league. So a story element, the mandatory splash character, the crisis sets would be revealed each round. I've worked out some branching logic to go along with the story, and it will change week to week depending on whether or not a majority of the victories were had by the heroes or the villains. It'll be very fluid, very dynamic, some interesting bonus points to earn. We'll have some really great virtual rewards at the end. And again, it's just a good way to sample out all MCP has to offer, play some characters you wouldn't normally play, and just really take full advantage of the nearly 200, if not over 200 models that are in this game. So it's an experiment, but what's great about playing games on Tabletop Simulator is that it's easy to play. It costs you, to buy the software as much as a tournament fee to enter, and you'll be able to join all of our leagues. We've got the spring one coming up. We'll do a summer one. We'll do a fall one, and as long as there's interest, I'll keep this going. So, really excited. Hope you guys join. I will be sending out or giving to attach to the show notes here a link to our Appalachian Cup Discord, as well as a link to the Longshanks event where you can register. That'll have the league document with all the details as well. But I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to announce it, talk about it. It's been a really great time.
Absolutely. That sounds so fun. Like, I love what you're doing with the leagues.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a good way to get creative. It's a good way to try new things. That's one of the things that, the longer you play, as changeable as the meta is, there's still characters like Vulture you don't get out on the table. You don't see a lot of Squirrel Girl on the table, but maybe, if you join this league with me, you'll see some interesting characters in play that you maybe have never gotten to experience before.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Jason. That sounds like a lot of fun. And we'll be sure to put in the episode notes those links to the Discord and the TTS.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the person that we are covering today. That person being Quasar, otherwise known as Phyla-Vell. Quasar's defenses are 3 physical, 4 energy, and 4 mystic. She has 7 stamina on the front, but only 6 stamina on her flipped side. She is a threat value of 4, size 2, and a medium mover. She is also affiliated with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And is this the one that's on the medium base, or is it Moondragon that's on? I think Moondragon. So she's on a.
I think they both are. Yeah, they're both medium base, I believe.
Medium. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then she's on a medium base. So she's a medium mover on a medium base. 2 thumbs up. All right, Brad, why don't you go over her attacks?
Her first attack is Energy, Quantum Sword, range 2, 5 dice, cost 0, gain power equal damage dealt, and Wild Pierce. Her second attack is Nega, Quantum Blast Wave, beam 3, 8 dice, cost 5, Wild Incinerate after attack is resolved, and Wild Pierce.
Okay, Jason, why don't you do her first 2 superpowers?
Sure. We'll start off with Charge, the classic Charge. It's 2 power. It's an action, and this character immediately makes a move action followed by an attack action. This superpower can only be used once per turn. Her next superpower is Quantum Bands. This is another 2-power superpower. You choose an enemy character within 2 and roll 4 dice. The chosen character loses power equal to the number of crit, hit, wild results. If the chosen character would lose more than the power that it has, it suffers 1 damage for each power it could not lose. The chosen character does not gain power for damage suffered this way. This superpower can only be used once per turn.
All right, Steven, why don't you finish out the card? Steven, are you muted?
Yeah, I was coughing again. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Get that
We-
man a
we-
lozenge.
Yeah, really. So we have a reactive superpower, which is Force Field. Will cost 2. When this character is targeted by a physical or energy attack, it may use the superpower. Add 2 dice to this character's defense roll against that attack. We also have another reactive, Kree Titan Hybrid Physiology. It will only cost 1 power. When this character suffers damage from an enemy effect, after the effect is resolved, it may use the superpower. This character removes 1 damage or 1 special condition from itself. This superpower can be used only once per turn. In her innates, she is a flyer, and she is immune to poison and stun.
Okay. All right. So what is everyone's first thoughts here? I'm gonna throw it to Jason. Jason, what are your first thoughts here about Quasar? What do you think that is going on here?
Yeah, so I mean, Guardians were my first love, and every time I see a new Guardians release, I get excited. And honestly, regardless of how great the character is, I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna play this character. I think in Phyla-Vel's instance, there's a couple things that jump out to me right away that I love. I love the charge on a medium base that always feels good. Make sure that she has a lot of great mobility coming across the board. I think the Kree Titan hybrid physiology that she has, this 1 power, heal or condition removal, I think is really great. I think that could see some interesting play along with Nova for maybe teams that are really reliant on placing conditions, and this might be kind of an annoying way for Guardians to counter that play. But she's absolutely power hungry. I mean, she's got a lot of superpowers, even though they are 2 cost each. There's a lot of scenarios in which you would love to play all of them, but you're going to have to make some difficult choices going forward. And her spender is 5 power. It's a great beam, and she really wants to be close to use that. And the only way, at least from that I can see, for her to generate power is with that 2 dice attack or range 2 attack that she has for her builder.
Yeah, she is power hungry. I think you've nailed the big caveat of this character because everything else looks amazing. I do want to say that she basically has almost damage reduction 1, but not quite because she can, if she gets dazed, she can't use it. But if she survives with 1, she spins a power and heals herself 1. Or, there's an interesting circumstance. She can get rid of stagger on herself pretty easily if it's given by an attack.
Yeah.
This is a case where if she's up against Black Cat and Black Cat does Troublemaker, you hope that she does the 1 damage. Because if she does the 1 damage, then you can just get rid of the stagger. You can just toss that stagger off. If she doesn't do any damage, which seems to happen a lot with Troublemaker, then you can't do it because you have to be damaged for this to be a usable superpower. It's an interesting thing.
You could do it later if she
Okay.
gets attacked again, though.
True. If she gets attacked again. Brad, what are your thoughts here on Quasar?
So she shares charge and quantum bands with Rogue. Rogue's isn't called quantum bands; it's called something else. And those,
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, and those are very fun. I love the Pearson incinerates. It feels like she's gonna get damaged through pretty easily, and I do think that thing that Fred was just talking about, the heal and special condition, we've had kind of similar stuff, but this is the first time it's been specifically this ability, and I like this take on it. I think it's pretty cool. She seems like she's a pretty good model for her points, and I am excited to get her on the table. She was the first one I built out of this box. And I'm gonna fit her in somewhere soon. because I want to play her.
What holes do you feel like she fills in Guardians? Is there a place for her to slide into an existing Guardians roster?
I think she can. So, Memphis has been excited about Guardians, and I think we put her in instead of Gamora, even though I personally really like Gamora. Um, I'm personally probably going to play Quasar in uh, my Chicks with Swords list that I'm building. I have an
Chicks with sword.
I have an A-Force list where I'm printing a Planet She-Hulk model for She-Hulk, and I'm gonna play Absolute Wonder Woman model for Angela, and I'm real excited about the list. And I think Quasar is gonna go in there too. It'll be hard to pick.
Got a sword.
It'll be hard to pick between Quasar and Sif, because I also like me some Sif. But I think Guardians are at a point where you can kind of play the ones you like and want to play and not necessarily be stuck with certain models if you don't like how they play. And I like that. I think every faction should be like that.
Yeah, I think the Guardians, winging it leadership and even the Adam Warlock leadership really helps you get those triggers to kind of start that engine running as well. So I think that, it suits that play style a little bit. It's just interesting to have these up close, punchy characters, so I wonder if we'll see her played along the sides of, someone like Drax and Gamora more frequently, where you're getting up in people's faces as Guardians and trying to inflict as much damage as possible.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She's kind of a 4-threat Drax in that she's someone you want to close in with and that can take a hit. She is a close range get hit model, which I guess Drax was one as well, but she is, I think, much better than Drax. She has a charge which helps her get there. Yeah. Okay, Steven, what do you think of Quasar?
I think she fills a unique role that, even though she has a lot of similarity to Rogue, as Brad pointed out, the one thing I will say is that she might be power hungry, but she will never be power starved because she is immune to poison and stun.
That's true. She does avoid the power affecting conditions, I guess, except for Judgment.
Well, and Judgment's such a rarity that it wouldn't be a concern, I believe. So, with that being said, I'm excited to try her in my Mephisto take power away from people list.
I mean, that's
so running her alongside
fit.
Running her alongside Rogue, that could be, double whammy. Rogue rolls 5 dice for her mutant absorption. She rolls 4 dice on quantum bands. That's getting up into some high hit point territory. So,
yeah, that's a lot of damage they take.
And they get no power for it, which is the beauty of it. And then if you have other characters that are draining power around, like, I don't know, Deadpool, Ghost Rider on his big attack, Loki with his root bubble, things start getting interesting really, really quick. So I think she was the piece I was looking for my Mephisto list. So
cool.
I also think from a splash potential, I mean, whenever I see a character come out with a lot of, 2 cost powers, my brain automatically goes to, hey, where's Steve 1? Let's turn these all into, 1 cost powers, or maybe this is an interesting thing to pair with, the new Mighty Avengers, where there's a lot of power passing going on. It seems like anywhere there's power passing, this might help her get online a little bit more and get more effective, because I think she just needs that extra little push from somewhere.
I would say she would be a good inclusion for a Blade Midnight Sun, because they don't have a lot of. Well, I mean, they do have Doctor Voodoo, but their force kind of trail off after that. Since she is a medium-based medium move, she can bump and then attack somebody on the midline really, really easily.
All right.
To get her. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Quasar, she does have a tactics card. It is one that we talked about in our last episode with Moondragon. It's the one where they pair up, and when they are within range 2 of each other, they cannot be pushed. And I forget the exact details. It's called Power Couple, and they cannot be advanced, thrown, or placed by enemy effects, and reduce the power cost of their active and reactive superpowers by 1 to a minimum of 1. And the problem with this card, I think, is that these are both charge models. So they like to get out of within range 2 of each other. And at that point, they're not benefiting. So, but I think it is a good card. Like, it'll reduce the cost of all these superpowers that she has available to her. Yeah. I guess if you're playing both of them, it's a pretty good card, but it's probably not good enough to take in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, I think
Maybe
the
in a
thing that
different affiliation.
yeah, I think the thing that makes that card interesting with these characters is not the ability that they take where they can't be advanced, thrown, or placed. It's really reducing those superpowers by 1. I think that's really where it comes into play. It turns on a lot more of their stuff. It gives them the ability to make a lot more choices during that round. So I think that's where it comes into bear. But yeah, I think there's maybe not a lot of situations where you're even fielding these two characters together at this point.
Yeah. Okay. We need to give a letter grade to Quasar. So my take here on Quasar is that she is a good forward fighter for the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a good place to be. I think she does her job pretty well. She's got a lot of power cost, and she doesn't have a way to generate power. And neither one of the Guardians of the Galaxy affiliations are power specific. Like they're not. You can get more power using Atom Warlocks if you are getting extra hits on a builder, but still, I think it's not a specifically generate power leadership. I think that she is going to suffer from being starved. Like, let's talk about her spender. We didn't really talk about her spender much. It is an excellent spender. A beam 3, 8 dice with Wild Incinerate and Wild Pierce. That's outstanding. I think she will rarely ever use it, if I'm to be frank, because it costs 5 power, and she is going to be spending her power all the time. Maybe the turn she gets flipped, she'll follow that up with she'll spend 7 power and follow that up with a charge into position and then a beam 3, 8 dice, which would be very good. But it takes up all of her power. I just think that there's a power consumption problem with her. That for that reason, I'm going to give her a B. I would put her in an A otherwise because I think she's got a great kit, but I'm going to give her a B. Brad, tell me why I'm wrong.
I love this guy. Well, this girl, I guess. I like her whole kit. I think it's real neat. And I think that she deserves better than a B, Fred. So I'm going to give her a B+.
There we go. Okay. Steven, what do you think about what are you going to give to her?
Kind of hard to tell. I think I'm in the B+ range with Brad here, to tell you the truth. So, what else can you say? It's a good character that's going to be in a faction that has Beta Ray Bill in it, so you'll probably won't see her at Beta Ray Bill and Yondu, so you probably won't see her.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yep. And Jason, what do you want to give to her?
Yeah, I think Steven, you're absolutely right, and that's kind of the thing that I was looking at for Quasar is, what other 4 threats is she up against in Guardians, only being affiliated with Guardians. And I think from a Guardians perspective, I think she's a B because she just doesn't, outperform Beta Ray Bill and Yondu, and it's only in those high point games where you might see several 4 threat characters on there. I do think she's got a lot of really great potential as a splash elsewhere. So I think, if I'm allowed to, I would definitely give her a B plus, maybe even an A minus for a splash potential, because I think there's a lot of interesting things you can do with Quasar outside of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. All right. Well, we're all really close together. This is a close score that we're given to Quasar. Yeah, that's our take on Quasar. Hey, Brad, do you have any comic books that feature Phyla-Vell?
I sure do. There is a correction I need to do before though. So I, at some point, said something about the Quasar Phyla-Vell being the alternate universe Phyla-Vell, not the main universe. And that's not correct. She was Quasar. The main universe was Quasar. And then she died. And then the other universe, Phyla-Vell, came to the main universe. And she was also Quasar. So both of them were Quasar. And I decided that I was going to give a story for each of them today, since we don't know which one this is.
Okay.
So the first one is Annihilation Conquest, Quasar. That's the name of the miniseries. It's by Christos Gage and Mike Lilly, and Phyla learns about her quantum bands while she fights the Phalanx invasion, which is what Annihilation Conquest is about, to save the Kree Empire at the behest of a strange voice in her head, and Moondragon is there to help. The series ends with them taking on the Dragon of the Moon, who has come back to take its toll on Moondragon. And you're probably going to want to read the main Annihilation Conquest series along with this, because Phyla-Vell is one of the main characters in that too. And the crossover is good. That crossover is written by Dan Abnett.
Hey.
I like to mention Dan Abnett because that's like the only person Fred knows. Then I jump. She dies at the end of the Dan Abnett cosmic stuff, and then in Donny Cates' Guardians, he brings in the alternate universe Phyla-Vell, which I thought had happened earlier, which is why I thought that this was an alternate universe one, but I was wrong. Anyway, later on, Guardians of the Galaxy 2020 by Al Ewing and Juan Cabal. Al Ewing is one of my favorite writers at Marvel right now. He does great work, and his Guardians are great, and Phyla is part of the team for this, and Al Ewing loves to be a part of a crossover. So this series does do the major events. Some of these events people have heard of, even if they don't read comic books, like the one where Null, who's the god of the symbiotes, takes over Earth. And then there's one where some cultists sacrifice planets to summon a solar system-sized Dormammu. And then the Guardians are part of all that. So there's a lot going on in this series. It's fun, though. It's fun. The Dormammu of it is, like, a lot of fun.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. I don't like Null, so I didn't like
solar
that.
System.
Yeah. Yeah, they sacrificed 5 planets, which they figured out were in the shape of a pentagram, and then Dormammu pops out with a flaming planet as his head. He's
Oh boy.
huge.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay. Was that it, or
Yeah, that's it.
did
One
you
of
have
each.
one more? That's
No,
it.
that second one was New Phyla-Vell from a different universe.
Okay. Okay.
And the first
All right.
one was
Well,
original.
the only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. We've been going pretty long, so I'm going to keep this short. There was a Phyla-Vell in the MCU. It's played by a child actor with only child actor credits, and I've not seen, I think, any of them, so I can't really speak to that. Um, so I'm going to just say, uh, I've been replaying a video game recently that has been just an excellent. It reminded me how good this game was to begin with. That game was Metaphor ReFantazio. It is an Atlas, one of their massive RPGs that you can spend 70, 80 hours into no problem. And this is maybe their best one, and that's saying a lot because this is the people who make Persona. So uh, this it truly is a masterful creation of theirs. Um, it does the Persona combat system, but they've simplified it and made it more manageable, which is always a good thing because the Persona games can get really way too technically complicated sometimes. So that's Metaphor ReFantazio. Everyone should play it. And that'll do it for our show today. I want to thank Jason for joining us. Thank you, Jason. And
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was great to be here.
And you were an excellent guest. We will definitely have you on again in the near future.
I'd love that.
Yeah. And thank you, Brad and Steven, for joining me. And thank you, everyone out there who is listening. It is always nice that people listen to our voices, even if it's just a couple people. I hope that everyone out there plays some good games of Marvel Crisis Protocol and has a wonderful rest of the week. Goodbye, everybody.